Hey guys, Mark Allen here for BHSpringSolutions LLC and BHSpringSolutions.com. Today we're looking at BH Service Center tools, BH Essential Service tools, and the high power 9mm enhanced reliability kit. What we're going to do is pull all of these together. Oh, also a basic polishing kit. I wanted to show you some of these things because what we're going to reveal here are some of the tips and tricks from our service department that we've learned in servicing handguns. And some of these tips really are good. You can kind of up your own game with your own maintenance and restoration of handguns. This is some great tutorial information for gunsmiths particularly. The BH Service Center tools are a complete set of Wildy punch tools. I want to tell you about these here real quickly. These are the same tools you used to buy with Craftsman written on them, made in USA, absolutely just professional grade quality pin punch tools. And there are 10 of them in this set. They go from 1/8 standard and roll pin punch, and I don't know, I didn't even know what a roll pin punch was until a few years ago, but a roll pin punch has a little tip right here. It helps hold on to your roll pins, and these are particularly common in firearms. We have standard and roll pin punches in 1/8, 3/32, 5/64, and 1/16. Then we have a 1/16 starter punch and a 3/32 nail punch. Now, why a 3/32 nail punch? That 3/32 nail punch is has a cupped out head to it. All of your solid pins are really held nicely by this nail punch. Your 1/16 punches, these things are notorious for just breaking. That's the reason for a 1/16 starter punch. Generally, once you get a 1/16 pin punch started, generally you're able to go ahead and get that pin on out. There is a little secret to the Wildy pin punches. What once upon a time was Craftsman. Craftsman used to promote this, but their pin punch tools have a nuance to them. You're going to notice this is wider here, and then it looks like it narrows down a little bit right there, and that's actually by design, and it's a proprietary design for Wildy. You're going to take a look there, 1.51 millimeters, and as I move the caliper down, 1.45, and down a little further, 1.44. This is in millimeters. Now, just that small, in hundredths of a millimeter, what that means is when you take one of these punch tools and you're driving a pin through and out of a hole, your pin punch tool is not going to be getting stuck. This part is a little bit narrower than the head end, and you find these tools going in and out, and it just feels very professional, and these just do an excellent job. So there's 10 of these punch tools. Those sizes are the most common sizes in all of gunsmithing, and for guys that are 1911, CZ75, high power enthusiasts, these are just exactly the right punch tools for almost every job that you're going to encounter. We wanted to show you 3 more tools in this set, and particularly these we've found to be very handy in our service center. It's just simple tweezers, but these are ceramic tipped, so we don't have any, it's of course non-magnetic. They don't magnetize themselves, and you don't find these things picking up things, you know, when you don't want to pick them up. Great for holding pins just before you're getting ready to start tapping them in or introducing them into a hole. Great for holding parts when you're analyzing them, and also what we call a light duty 5-inch needle nose pliers. These have serrations here, and these are ideal also for holding pins, parts. Really an appropriate tool for the work of gunsmithing or gun restorations. And then finally, this has become one of the handiest tools in our service center. This is a 3-power magnification 4-light tool. And I want to show you this, just how handy this is. You know, when we're working on a firearm in our service center, we're wanting to see something, you see what happens with this. This tool has lights on the front. Now, these lights are not eye burners. They're very appropriate, and they are exactly what you need in order to look down inside of a firearm. Then we click the button again. Now we have a white light here. Now we can take a close-up look at what we want to look at through the magnification. And this is our low power magnification. Here is our medium magnification. And this light helps with that magnification. Now, sometimes a white light is not optimal for looking through your magnifier, so there's a blue light. And that blue light would not be optimal against this black, but against some things that blue light is optimal. And then there is what I call a microscope magnifier, and that is here. And it has its own dedicated light too. And the other day I was looking, oh, by the way, this is a focus button here for the high-powered magnification, and I was looking at pits in metal under an extractor claw. And this was actually a new part. But this is such a powerful magnification here that you can actually see very tiny small pits in something as small as like a high power extractor claw. Now, this was not significant pitting, but it was pitted and impossible to see with the naked eye. But these this tool, as we call a parts, it's our parts analyzer. When we take apart a pistol and we start looking at the parts, we're going to show you one of the little secrets from our service center here now in just a second. But this is the BH Service Center tools. And by the way, when you purchase this as a kit or as a package, you're going to get one of our basic polishing kits, and this is going to come along with it free. It has 2 different grades of polishing compounds, 8 polishing bobs of polishing cloth, and instructions how to use dry polishing rouge. And that's going to come with this kit, because sure, as you're using these tools, you're going to find metal-to-metal engagement surfaces that you're going to want to polish, because when you start looking at them real close, now you start seeing what it is that you're actually working with. So that comes with the BH Service Center tools. That is all these punch tools, our essential service tools, the non-magnetizing ceramic tip tweezers, the 5-inch long nose pliers, and the 3 magnification 4 light we call parts analyzer tool. Now, wanted to show you another new product of ours, and that is we call our essential service tools, and that is these 3 tools for you guys who are all set on your pin punches. These 3 tools boxed, and they come just like this: the tweezers, the 5-inch pliers, and by the way, your 3 magnification 4 light parts analyzer tool also comes with a leather case. Batteries are included when you get this, and you'll find a little tab here keeping the batteries from turning on. You just pull it out and you start using it. You have a button here. The high magnification has a focus here, and you just start using it. But for guys that are gun enthusiasts, you will never be without this tool again, I assure you. This will help you do things that the naked eye cannot do. So that is the essential service tools with those 3 what I call convenience or analyzing and holding tools all together. Now, one thing we wanted to show you, and this is particularly for high power guys. The high power pistol discontinued by FN Browning. Parts are not being imported anymore, and we're encouraging high power guys, pick up one of these enhanced reliability parts and optimizing spring service kit from BHSpringSolutions. And we want to show you why we put this together. This is essentially one of our guides in our service center. This comes with the high power parts, springs, and pins. These are there's 3 different things in the kit. We have our pins. This is safety lever pin, sear lever pin, extractor pin. These are all roll pins, and we frequently spread these and need to replace them when we're working on high powers in our service center. So these are in the enhanced reliability kit, because someday, if you're working on high powers at all anyway, you're going to come to a point you're going to spread one of these pins. You're going to be 1 pin short from completing a job, and that's a bad bad day when that happens. The most commonly replaced springs, all of these things are things that you might need to replace in a pinch. And what I mean by in a pinch is, okay, you've detail stripped down a pistol because you want to just clean everything, lubricate everything, because it's been a long time, and these are the springs that you might pull out and say, hey, you know what, that looks like it's been going a little bit of a long time. Extractor spring, that's the number one. If you pull an extractor spring out of an old high power and it is significantly shorter than this BH extractor spring, replace it. Same way with the firing pin spring. Same way with the recoil spring. Safety lever springs are famous for going away in high powers. That's why that one's in here. And then your main spring or your hammer spring. These are all included in the Essential Reliability Kit. And finally, the parts kits. And this is the one, because in our service center, we always replace all springs all at one time in all of the high powers that are sent to us. And these are the parts that we pay very close attention to when they come out of a high power. One of them is the extractor. The other is the ejector. Here is a firing pin retaining plate and a firing pin. I'm going to talk to this real quickly. What do we do and how do we do it? And there's no big science to this. What we do is we take the extractor out of a high power that was sent to us. We pull out a brand new extractor and we compare them with magnification, just like this. And we start looking at them side by side, except not just one, we start looking at two. And then we start getting close-ups, and then we start looking very close. And what we're doing is we're looking and comparing for any major differences that we can see between a new part and a part that's in a handgun that we're servicing. If we notice anything that is noteworthy, that is different in the old part, it gets replaced. This is something that if you are okay with comparing things under magnification and you're able to look and see, are these the same, or are they not the same? Do I see any kind of excessive wear on this part that's already been used? Anybody can do this. If you have the new parts, the critical parts, to compare with old parts, you can do that. Same way with the ejector. You can look, we notice actually ejectors that come out of high powers that have been in high powers for 30 years and they're actually shorter than a new spec for an OEM part. That's another one. By the way, we now recommend, if you have to replace an extractor, replace extractor and ejector at the same time. Just replace them with new parts. Life works better that way. These two parts do work together. Same way with firing pin. Pull out your old firing pin, look at it, compare it to a new firing pin. If you notice anything that's any big time different, replace the part. The firing pin retaining plate, this is one here that if you are into purchasing surplus high powers at all, doing restorations and things like that, this is a part that is worth looking at under very high magnification, because this one has a reputation for fracturing, especially in Israeli surplus high powers. We've now found multiples of those where just chunks of the retaining plate were gone. So there's one of the secrets for in our service department. When we do service on a high power, one of the things that we do is we always test fire it for reliability, and we want that firearm to test fire out perfectly the first time. We do not like going back to the service center, tearing them down again, and chasing down a malfunction. It happens to everybody occasionally. However, we have found that when we take very close look at these essential reliability parts in the high power pistol, compare them to the parts that we just took out of a customer's pistol, if we see any noteworthy wear, any noteworthy deformations at all, we replace those parts out, and it's been, knock on wood, very, very few times we've had to go back to the shop lately and chase down a malfunction. So there are some secrets we wanted to share with you from our service center, and some new products that we have at BHSpringSolutions that we think you're going to enjoy. It's going to take your own hobby or your gunsmithing, if that's your career. It's going to take it to another level of professionalism, another level of thoroughness and sophistication, and we really, really hope you enjoy these, and we're happy to share them with you. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Allen, BHSpringSolutions, and BHSpringSolutions.com.